Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Creating a hazardous and physically offensive condition. It's the Audience of One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you tend to get your podcasts from. On today's show, we discuss the newest ancient fashion trend, a human composting pile, and when an entire town gets high. I am Andrew, maestro of the run sheet, next to the guy who doesn't understand the inner workings of the Catholic Church. It's Dick. I think communism is great. Schisler.
And I said fascism is great.
I think you said communism, too.
Correct.
You just have to climb the ladder.
It's a tier system.
Throw everybody under the bus,
Yeah.
including your parents. Sell everybody out.
Neighbors.
Neighbors. And once you're there, then you can help others, right?
Yeah.
Communism. Last week's show was great. I never know what to get.
I don't remember any of our shows because when you text me funny jokes, I'm like, that's a good one. You're like, no, we literally said that on the show. I was like, we're pretty funny.
Yeah, I did the thing where I did the AOO roulette as I was driving back from San Antonio this past week. Just opened our show, scrolled down, and selected one from, I think, February of last year and just listened to it. And yeah, we weren't any good then. We're even better now, though. No, it was great. It was a great show. I was laughing.
Yeah.
And because I forget what we talk about immediately after the show.
Well, because what's funny is over the week, since the past one, I know we talked about this on the other show where that woman, for whatever reason, she was mad at the other woman, took a poop on her car.
Happens.
Right?
Yeah,
and
happens.
we talked about that
Road
on the
rage
show.
Pooping, yes.
And I remember if you the ones you remember last week on YouTube, if you watch it, you can see a blurred image of it. Mm-hmm. Well, I was just
Dick was not satisfied with the blurred image.
well, no, I wasn't even searching for this.
Right, it comes to you.
I was on like
So
the real stuff on the phone, and then all of a sudden I see this like home video of a woman pooping on a car. I'm like, how many people are pooping on cars?
Turns out it was the same story.
It was the same story. And then, so I immediately sent it to Andrew, and I go, "Hey, this one isn't blurred out. It's pretty great."
Thank you. I
knew you were
got
gonna
to see
love
the
it.
uncut version.
Oh, it is. You knew I didn't realize is how much footage of the interview with the lady there was.
Oh yeah, they talked to her quite a bit. Yeah, and she was very proud of the fact that it came out very clean, and she had no need to wipe. She let everyone know that.
And I can't believe they were talking to her while she's handcuffed. Like the cops weren't. The cops we're just like, this lady's crazy, man.
Oh, they know when they've got some content, some gold that could potentially go viral.
Yeah,
go talk to her. Go talk to her.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild. But
oh, that is great.
Which
man.
reminds me, onesies, always send in your funny videos and whatever topics.
And do us a favor, if you like what you're hearing, we're going to say it right off the top. Like, share, follow, tell a friend, make it awkward. The Audience of One show.
I love follow-ups, and that was a great little more insight to that story, because most of the stories you tell me, I'm like, this isn't real. That's not real. That can't be real.
Oh,
and that woman,
au contraire, it was. It was.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we are halfway through May. Are you familiar with what Mustache May is, or Muzzy May? Because I think there's the Movember, right, where you're not supposed to shave.
No shave November.
No shave November.
And then there's like no peanut. January, I think.
Oh,
it
right.
is.
No, nuts. It's just all kinds of nuts.
Well, I didn't want to say it too. It's too graphic.
No legume January.
Or no, it's a dry January.
It is dry January.
It's dry, and there's one. There's another one for guys where.
Maybe it is November as well.
Yeah, maybe.
No legumes November.
Yeah. And I always like, I wonder if you tried this, where like you look up every month has like a special
an awareness,
thing.
a cause, right?
Well, not a cause, but more of like a dedication. So like no shaving for November, no drinking in January. If there's one for all of them,
there probably is.
and if there is, we should do it.
Well, oh God, yeah.
And we got to see how long, if we go a whole year
Yeah, I think this mustache May is a more recent one. I believe it's for mental health, and I think it started probably in the.
So you can't do the Nazi stash, or
It counts. It really counts.
Yeah.
The Hitler.
I'm blessed. I don't have any hair in the middle, so if I try to do the Hitler,
I was going to ask you if you wanted to participate. I can't grow a mustache. Well, I mean, I kind of can, but I mean only the mustache. I would make 1990s era Corey Pavin look like a stud.
I had the handlebars for a little
twerp.
bit.
I had a mustache.
I used to.
Yeah, twirl it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, with a little bit of oil in there.
I'm getting there.
That is kind of a neat look. But you have not heard of this Muzzy May, huh?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I have not heard of it until this year. I think it started again with the San Francisco Giants, I believe, originally, and then it's spread now to.
I figured it'd be like a New York Yankee thing because that's the only thing they can have.
True, not now though. They are allowed officially as of this year to have beards. That's right.
That's so funny.
Speaking of mustaches, has there ever been a more unnatural looking mustache than Hulk Hogan's? Unnaturally colored, that is.
Yeah.
That thing is absolutely ridiculous. Like, he's beyond the point of it trying to actually look like a normal hair color. It's almost translucent.
Well, it's
at this
funny to
point.
me because
It's
it becomes
so bleached.
It becomes a topic of conversation because right now this weekend is the Montgomery County Crawfish Critic Cook-Off. I think I said that right. Well, Stale Cracker's going to be there, and everyone.
You and this effing Stale Cracker.
Well, no,
every week you're talking about this guy.
He's going to be there, so I'm going to try to meet him.
Get his phone
But
number.
everyone talks about him as if he has a wig on, or if he has bleach blonde mullet. And then I was thinking about that. I go, he has to bleach that, like maintain that.
Oh yeah, otherwise his roots will be showing.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there going like that. I don't want to be dedicated. I don't want that in my life.
He's your spirit animal.
Well, I meant more of like Hulk Hogan has to maintain.
Yeah,
that
he's
mustache.
constantly got, and I think he's bleached it so much over the years now, it virtually has no color to it.
And I think that's kind of amazing for certain individuals who keep a look for so long, and then one day they stop.
He can't at this point.
And then they just look totally different.
Yeah.
And like, have you seen George Clooney recently?
Yes, he's not looking like a 30-year-old George Clooney
He
anymore.
looks like John Goodman now.
Yeah, he's put on a few pounds. He's aged. He's like 64, 5
But
years
you know
old
what I'm talking
now.
about? Like the
Yes.
now John Goodman?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is not exactly looking the same.
And when I saw that interview, I was like, that's George Clooney?
Yeah, he's
Like, when
physically looking
did I
different.
miss this?
Him and Rachel Ray looking a little different these days.
Oh, what's Rachel Ray look like?
Look it up. But I think Hulk Hogan, I mean, his mustache might as well be purple because it doesn't look natural.
She's fat or something?
Well, yes, she has gained some weight and she's gotten older, but she just physically looks different. And she's a little slurry, but, hey, maybe she's tipped back a few rosés. I don't know. The look on your face.
Well,
Yeah,
she does not look...
She doesn't look the same. That's the thing. She looks like, if I had never seen her before, I would say, oh, look, that's a normal 55, 60-year-old looking woman. But when you say
She
that's
looks
Rachel
totally
Ray,
different.
very, very different, yes.
What happened?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, that can't be right.
I know. That's the thing is, look, everybody's entitled to get older. It's going to happen to each and every one of us, including Hulk Hogan.
Well, because, I mean, like,
but she
when
physically changed.
Well, no, yeah. Like, when I saw the George Clooney thing, I go, oh, he must have had a stroke or cancer, and he just didn't tell anybody. And, like, because I can see people doing that. Like, why does he need to tell people that he has cancer? But
He does not. He owes that to no one.
I mean, or he changed his diet. He went to straight, like,
Yes.
like green slop or something. I don't know.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I always like seeing the quick transitions of folks. You're like, ooh, like, because what I can't wait for is our favorite billionaire health guru,
Oh, the Don't Die Brian Johnson
Brian
guy.
Johnson. Like,
I
can't.
wouldn't call him a health guru.
Well,
but
he's a health guru. Trust me,
He's something.
He'll. If you watch his videos, I like to watch them because it's ridiculous.
you like his boner vids, but go ahead.
Oh no, I
See, the metric we're creating here is
But I was thinking, I was like, I can't wait till his switch is flipped, where all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're 90 years old, like you got to look old now. Sorry, your body, no matter how much.
I would assume at a certain point, no matter how much blood boys and blood transfusions and what is it, neurotoxins he removes from his body, yeah, eventually you're going to age, man.
Yeah, it's and it goes quick.
Yeah, it does.
I can't wait till it happens to me.
Well, speaking of old people, and this is
I can't wait till I'm the old creeper.
Hey, you're almost there, buddy.
I'm
just
already.
a little more
you
effort. Just a little more effort. You already eat your dinner out in the park by yourself. You're almost there, buddy.
Yeah, what's wrong with eating outside?
By yourself in the park. No, speaking of old people, this is great. So I had an eye appointment this week, right?
Okay.
And at this particular eye doctor that I went to, the waiting room was pretty busy, but it was mostly filled with what I would say are not just old people, but elderly people. They were shockingly old. Like they were
using walkers and all that crap.
Yeah, or canes, or just looked like they were struggling to get around with their mobility. 80, 85 plus, right? I'm not talking Trump 80. I'm talking more Biden 80, all right? And what I noticed where I was sitting is I could look out into the parking lot. And watching these elderly people attempt to park straight in a lane was awesome. I hope to reach that level of effort in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Because they didn't even care. There was no attempt made to get in the middle of those lines, man.
I'll take pictures.
It was admirable.
I'll take pictures for you on Wednesday mornings. I host that seniors no taps, and the parking is hilarious. Because it's one of those parking lots that people don't know about 300 Bowl. It's one of those parking lots where there's parking, like you can go bumper to bumper, like one slot. And it's just like in a diagonal line. People just go over that line. Yeah. And they just take up the whole
there's
two
no
spots.
There's no bump stops for the car. It's just you got to have to just eyeball it.
And you know what's funny? I asked the owner, I go, why don't we have those? And he's like, you'd be amazed how many people trip over those. And then they complain.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, it becomes a liability.
Yeah. And then, but what's funny is, and this is where like catch-22, he's telling me, he's like, well, we have to have them on the handicap spots.
So that's probably a law.
It's a law.
OSHA.
But he goes, but there's still a liability. They could still sue me if they trip over that.
There's just less of a chance.
And then I go, well, why don't you just
put those up against the building?
I would just paint them highlighter pink and just be like,
late at night after about 12 yellow bellies, you're not going to notice that, man.
No. And
anyways, I just hope that's a level of effort that I reach hopefully soon.
I've already reached that.
I feel like I used to be a decent parker. Like I would always nail it. And as I've gotten older, I don't know if it's a vision thing, I'm not always nailing it. But what I'll do is I'll get out and I'll look, and if I'm crooked, I'll fix it. Do you think one of these elderly people got up? No. They'd have like a quarter of their car, and it wasn't just one of them.
No, my favorite is the
quarter of their car in the other spot. They didn't give it.
They park in the zebra stripes. That's my favorite because there's like a walkway in the parking lot of 300, and it has zebra stripes. The zebra.
Oh yeah, it's a walkway.
People park on that.
Yeah, who cares?
And it's just like, but also it's kind of hard to park these days because the cars everyone's buying are all different. So if it was like all the same compact car, everyone would be like, it'd be easier to park. Cause
I think there's always been a variance in cars, man. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like if you go to the parking garage that's probably been here for 50 years, 40 years.
Tiny spaces.
It's tiny spaces. So, and everyone here in Conroe drives trucks or Tahoes or Escalades. And so parking in there.
Okay, I think I know where you're going. So over the years, the size or average size of cars do vary, and it seems like it varies with the price of gas. So back in the 60s and 70s, cars were enormous. And then once you had the embargo and all the gas prices and oil prices went up, cars got really, really small. Yeah. And now you kind of have a mix because they're turbocharging everything. You can get a lot of power and good efficiency out of a really tiny engine and throw it in a big car. So you have a big mix. Maybe you're onto something, Dick.
It's been a problem for me.
You're like an oracle sometimes, you know?
I know exactly what's going to happen in this world.
You knew the Dallas Mavericks were going to get the number 1 pick in the NBA lottery. You knew it.
Yeah. Well, I'm the one that told them to do it.
Right. Cold envelope. Got it.
Yeah. Because no one can understand how many children were trafficked to get Luka Doncic or
almost so
Luka
close. Doncic, sure.
Doncic out of Dallas. You know how many kids that cost?
I don't know, but you're going to tell me.
I mean, at least 20.
Yeah, at least.
So the Lakers had to give up some kids.
And a number 1 pick. And basically, Cooper Flagg is a kid at this point. Just barely 18. Should be in his senior year of high school. But this is for a different show.
Do you even watch basketball?
Not really. Not anymore, man.
I don't really
We've talked about this. Yeah. I don't watch much basketball because it's just jack up 3 after jack up 3, and it's just not entertaining basketball for me. It's
still basketball.
Kinda.
I mean, sorry they're not Air Jordaning it every time.
Yeah. Dick, have you ever been eating, say, like a bag of chips, and you drop one on the floor, and you don't want to eat the one that you just dropped on the floor, and so you pick it up and you go to the trash can to throw it away? Yes, like a hot one, Pringles hot one, for instance. So you walk over to the trash can to throw it away, but you're still holding some good ones that you do want to eat in your hand.
Yeah.
And by the time you get over to the trash can, you've forgotten which one is the one that hit the floor and which one's the good one.
I would just eat it anyway.
Okay, so my point was, if that happens to you, do you like chance it and just go, I think this is the one.
I don't even ask. I don't even ask the question. I pick it off the floor and eat it.
So, yeah, this scenario doesn't...
Yeah, it doesn't apply to me.
That happened to me the other day. I was walking over the trash can, looked down at my hand, and went, well, crap, I don't know which one of these hit the floor.
Well, it's only in my house, though. If I was, like, in the street and it happened, I probably wouldn't need
Okay.
that.
Well, you probably wouldn't pick it up at that point either.
Yeah, I'd throw it away.
A chip in the street?
Yeah,
Bruh.
I don't litter.
Yeah, okay.
You know, actually, this
Want a lady
reminds
in
me
the
of something.
You want a lady in the sheets?
I
And a chip? No, never mind.
let
Never
me ask
mind.
you something about this.
Screw that.
This happened this morning. This morning was a weird morning, by the way.
I never even got to finish my story.
I wanted
my
to ask
scenario.
you this. Well, I was pulling out of my neighborhood into the main street that goes out of the gate. There was a car that I was waiting to take a right, and he was driving right in front of, I guess on the upper T of the intersection.
And he ran right over that chip you dropped.
He threw out a water bottle.
At you?
No, like right in front of me, though. Like, he just threw it.
There's a good chance that's urine.
And I was sitting there and go, why did he just throw that? And he, why did he want to get rid of that? We're in the neighborhood. Like, he lives there.
Yeah, you don't usually want to trash your own neighborhood.
Yeah, and I was
Go next to the next door neighbor.
Well, no, I was like, do I go talk to this guy? Because he's going to be at the gate. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, why is he throwing trash out? Unless he hates that neighbor or something. That's the only thing I could think of.
Did you recognize him?
Yeah.
Oh,
he lives on my street.
He did. That guy, if he's willing to do that to his own neighborhood,
Yeah.
can you imagine? He's the type of guy that would deuce on someone else's hood in a road rage argument.
See, that's why I didn't want to talk to him. I was like, oh, he might poop on my car. But I was saying, what I wanted to ask you is, like, when do you approach somebody like that? It's like, hey, do you know you just threw that water bottle out of your car?
Whatever it is, whenever it is, make sure you're rolling on it because it will go viral because half the time you approach somebody now these days. We don't have very good de-escalation tactics, I think, anymore. We're not practicing them because as soon as you approach him, even though he's in the wrong, suddenly you're getting like, I don't know, brass knuckles
Maybe.
through your face.
Maybe. Well, okay, so anyway, I was driving over to the studio this morning, and I was like, there's a big traffic congestion. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the hell's going on? I'm on back roads. Next thing I know, there's 20 officers on horseback in the right lane.
Perfectly normal. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, do I go past them?
Well, the right lane is the slow lane.
It is the slow. I mean, they're just going to downtown Conroe. And everyone didn't know if they could pass them or not. And I was sitting there going, like, what is happening right now?
That is odd.
Well, apparently there was an officer died.
I was going to mention that. I believe they usually do that.
And they did it
Mounted
over
horses
Heritage Place.
For a fallen officer.
Yeah, but this is outside downtown on the other side of 45. And so it was really weird. I was like, why are they out here? Like, they're nowhere near down. They're going towards downtown. But it's like, on horseback, that's a 15-minute ride.
Maybe to the actual burial site. I don't know.
I don't know, but it really pissed me off because I wanted to pass them, but they're cops. And then you're like, can I pass them? Like,
I'm sorry that the death of the officer inconvenienced you, man.
well, no, this wasn't like a hearse type situation.
I get it.
It was just random
I get it.
horses with cops. There's 20 of them. And I was like, all right, can I just...
Well, here's what I say to
Because
that.
there's a double yellow line.
If there was any time you could pass a police officer, which I think you can at any time, provided you're abiding by the law, when they're on horseback, it's probably the best time to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can. Well, they'll take my...
Just for it. All right, buddy, let's go ahead and kick off this show because we got a doozy. Show music. Oh, man.
Why does it always do that when
I don't know. Just look for it, play it, and I'll go ahead and start. Dick, the next time you go shopping for a new purse, your choices could go beyond traditional materials such as leather, nylon, cotton, and polyester to include Tyrannosaurus Rex skin. That's right.
Yeah, we were talking about them doing the woolly mammoth stuff and everything.
Yeah, man. Now it's extending itself to fashion. Gotta love it. The remnants of a prehistoric predator are being used to create synthetic T-Rex leather.
I like it.
Which can be turned into accessories, including purses. And that's the plan for a trio of companies, and I'm not even going to name them because I don't care, who have a vision of working on high-quality alternatives to traditional leather that's cruelty-free and eco-friendly. Yeah, we'll ask that dinosaur how cruelty-free and eco-friendly it is. I think he might have another opinion on it. Oh, you're over there plugging everything back in. Excellent. I love on-the-fly IT. Again, you want to hit pause?
No.
Never wants to hit pause.
No.
Would you like to have a T-Rex purse, Dick?
No, I want a woolly mammoth thong.
Indeed. Why wouldn't I have thought that?
Yeah, that's what I want. You don't like that idea?
I love it.
Or a T-Rex T-Rex vest would be cool.
I'm thinking I would like to have a Stegosaurus purse because it could also be used as a weapon. You know what I'm saying, dog? Have a nice horn.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, definitely does give a
woolly
different meaning
mammoth
to
thong.
woolly.
Yeah. Well, what's so great about it is people will be confused. Like, is that your hair or is that
Oh, my God. The goal of the, quote, luxury fashion item is hitting later this year would be the first example of leather developed from an extinct species, the company said. Well, yeah, I imagine so. I don't think there's anybody else who's out there.
That's wild.
It is kind of wild. I think it's kind of cool. But again, you didn't think that they were really creating dire wolves. They're not real. Do you consider this real leather skin or T-Rex skin?
No.
No.
Well, I mean, like, not 100%. It's one of those situations where it's like it kills 99% bacteria. It's one of those things.
I don't
You
see
can't
this.
say 100%, but we could say 99.9.
Yeah. I don't see this catching on. I just don't see a lot of young ladies out there on the runway really wanting to
You
sport
never know,
T-Rex.
man. The younger generations are getting pretty wild. And I think it's just us getting older. Like, it seems wild to us, but in reality, it's normal to them. So,
I suppose. And there could be a reason for this. And it leads right into my next story.
oh, yeah, what is it?
In recent years,
All the Tide Pods been eaten?
troubling trends have emerged suggesting that human cognitive abilities are in decline.
Yeah, I believe it.
Across age groups, attention spans are shortening, problem-solving skills are weakening, and reasoning abilities are deteriorating. This raises an important question. Are we really getting dumber, or is this a sign of a deeper shift in how we think and process information?
I don't know. I mean, like, I had this argument this week with people about AI, and I go, because we're talking about some podcasts, and then I listened to it, and I go, only people who I know who use AI only use it because they can't write an email.
Good God.
You know what I'm talking about?
How hard is it to write an email?
Well, no, that's what people are using it for. Like, I don't know anyone that's actually using it for like practical purposes outside of grammar. And maybe your job requires it.
I think it's probably being used a lot more than you think.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about the practical use for everyday use for humans, not if it's part of your job. Like one buddy said on Tinder, he looks girls up on Tinder,
Of course.
and when they match, he goes and inputs their personality in an AI thing. How do I make me interested?
Oh my
or interesting?
God.
And it gives him a prompt to write this lady.
Using technology to be a creep.
I know.
Good God,
but
man.
I was sitting there thinking, I was like,
We are getting
what
dumber.
happens if you're younger and that's how you're taught? It's like, hey, write a paper about the war in 1942, and it's just like, oh, hey, Chat GPT, write me this, and then it's like, there you go.
I think it can do a little bit of both, but this report is saying that over time, young people seem to be reading less and spending more times scrolling through digital screens. Right? And this shift in media consumption, experts argue, is one of the key drivers behind cognitive decline. Which kind of, oh, there we go. I just hit it anytime. Yeah, buddy. Which this isn't anything groundbreaking per se, right? But you know what this story does not say? They do not point to talk radio shows or podcasts such as this. So onesies, it's your own fault, you're stupid, not ours. Just going to say that. Nothing about, in fact, this show could
Well,
make
you were
us smarter.
stupid to begin
That's
with
right.
because your mama is ugly.
Yeah, so it's
Right?
and a lot of it is for the same reason why we cannot remember phone numbers because it's in our phone. We don't have to look them up.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. It's screwing with the
no,
way we
I
have
don't wanna know your phone
recall
number.
and memory. Yeah, I know. Recall and memory when everything is at like the tips of your fingers to recall through digital screens or whatever, you're losing the ability to think on your own, cognitively, as they say.
I like it.
The younger generation, heavily immersed in screens, may face long-term cognitive effects that could affect or limit their intellectual potential. We're not even going to live up to our potential with all of these screens and AIs telling us how to meet up with chicks on Tinder. Back in the old
I'm
days,
telling you.
I had to crash and fail on my own on Tinder. But no, not anymore. You got AI right it for
No, I got
you.
a grandma now. Who's set
no,
me
it's a
up.
madam. It's a madam.
My madam's hooking me up. If anyone wants advice on dating, all you have to do is get a grandmother who's very sociable and just send her off into the world to find you some dates. And if
Thanks for that tip.
And if they ask you what your type, like what types you're looking for, that's a great grandma.
Oh, wow.
Because this lady literally goes to me just like, well,
does that mean she's got a Rolodex of options?
She goes, I need to know your vibe, so I know what kind of girls to match you up with. And I was like, let me tell you about me.
Well, let me tell you, I only vibe with really hot, juggy ones. So
lipstick on cat buttholes.
What? What? Doesn't even make sense.
You don't remember talking about putting?
Yes, I remember. I'm saying it doesn't make sense in the context of what we're talking about.
Well, that's who I'm looking for. That's my soulmate.
Ah, good God.
That's my opening line on Tinder. Like, hey, do you put lipstick on cat's buttholes?
Sorry I ever brought that up. Actually, I'm not. It was a fantastic
I think
story.
It's great. What do you think about dogs pooping? You think it's cool?
You can have them lined up around the corner. When someone dies, Dick, there are few options for how to lay someone to rest, like a straight burial, a cremation, and like we've talked about, the firing squad, or not the firing squad, but the bow and arrow Viking style. And now there is something a bit more unique. Georgia, the state of Georgia, is joining a handful of states allowing what is colloquially called human composting. With Governor Brian Kemp signing State Bill 241 on Monday, which goes into effect, blah, blah, blah. Known as organic human reduction, under Georgia law, human composting is basically turning a body into soil instead of ashes with a typical cremation.
I already do that in my backyard, dog.
I knew it. You're so eco-friendly,
I'm
right?
going to find that bottle thrower.
You've got
I'm going to find that bottle thrower.
And make him into human composting?
I'll be like, hey, how do you feel about human composting?
That's right.
And you got to say it really low. I'll be like, what, you want to die and become dirt?
So you're into woolly mammoth, naturally organically sourced woolly mammoth underwear.
No, that's my
banana hammocks.
Jeffrey Dahmer look. I'm wearing nothing but my woolly mammoth when I kill people.
And a mustache for May.
And a mustache.
Uh-huh.
And I got pink lipstick.
Would you like to come over and see my composting pile? That is kind of odd. You think it's okay to do this? I mean, I guess it's fine. You're already putting them in the ground.
What's strange to me...
This is just you turn them up every now and again.
Well, what's strange to me is, like, there's not... I mean, I know people die every day, but most people have a choice...
Thanks for breaking the news.
Well, most people have a choice what they want their body... like to be done to their body.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anyone's like, oh, hey, these tomatoes are the best because they were fertilized by human bodies. I don't think it's really that big of an increase of better food.
It could be. I mean, what if they do find out that the soil under this human composting is just rich and the vegetables you produce from it are like fantastic?
Just to let you know, that's a great X-Files episode, by the way.
Is it?
There's an X-Files episode where the guy's buried alive.
Well, it takes 60 to 90 days for a body in this composting, which may seem like a long time, but that's actually much faster than normal decomposition, which makes sense because you're enclosed in this stinking case.
See, what's interesting to me, if I went to the store... But
when you're out there in a compost, you're constantly being turned up from the earth with guy with the shovel.
Like if you go to like
some leaves
Home
on
Depot and it says like, oh, fresh compost, human compost, I'd be like, I kind of want to know who owns this business. That'd be a cool, dirty jobs.
Oh, there's a picture.
There's a picture?
Yes. This is crazy, man. So it kind of looks like a hyperbaric chamber of some sort. Show that to the onesies. And it kind of looks a little bit also like a coffin. But it's just a big pile of dirt with some leaves and hay or whatever over the top of it. I guess they got, how would you like to have that as your summer gig? I got to go turn the human compost for a couple hours in the afternoon. I wonder, it's got to smell to high. Holy hell, though, man. Well, it does say that families of someone
I smell right now,
whose body was composted have been known to use them in the soil to grow and nourish trees, gardens, and other plants in memory of their loved one.
I already thought this was a thing. Like you can be a tree.
Well, they're only joining a handful of states that have done this, so it might be a thing, but there's not very many states where it's legal. Georgia, it says it's joining only a handful. How many is a handful, Dick? Let me show me what a handful is.
You can do with the
in that woolly mammoth underwear. It might be kind of easy to do. On to the next story.
Because I told you about those people,
Jeez,
the women coming up to me with the hand soap, right?
No. I'm a little scared on this one.
They
Women came up to you with hand soap.
no
All right,
no.
you have such a weird way of starting stories, man.
No, but no. The soap dispenser was out. In the
Okay, so you
bathroom.
were at the bowling center
And
working,
the women,
and someone came up
everyone,
to you.
like multiple women come up to me, but they wouldn't tell me, hey, the soap's out. They'd be like, hey,
with a hand gesture,
this thing is out.
like they're cupping.
They're cupping stuff. And I was like, why are they doing that? What's happening?
How you doing?
Yeah, I was
What are you
like,
trying to tell me, Wink?
multiple women came up to me and did that. And I was like, you mean the soap dispenser? And they're like, oh, yeah,
Like,
that's
oh,
it.
you mean the soap dispenser?
Oh,
Very disappointed you were after you found out.
you know how dirty the back of the alley is?
I'm willing to risk it.
But no, it was really funny to me, like with the cupping motion. And yeah.
Okay, on to the next story because we only have a few minutes here before the break. A Georgia jail, and I find this very funny, was on lockdown, and then we're staying in Georgia, for 12 hours when a convicted murderer seemingly vanished just for him to be found the next morning where they had mistakenly left him in the courtroom holding cell. Sorry, this is funny, man. This guy was convicted of murder in 1984 and paroled in 2010, had been transferred to a county jail in Jonesboro for a trial. For 12 hours, the staff couldn't find him, triggering a full-blown lockdown and a frantic search of every nook and cranny of the lockup. Meanwhile, he's just sitting there going, hello? Hello? Can you imagine the terror, though, of these two guys going, oh, no. See, we were supposed to take him from point A to point B. We did make that stop at McDonald's. And they're thinking, oh, crap, he made a run for it at that point.
I like it.
It couldn't be that difficult to retrace your steps. This guy can't get very far. He's probably got an ankle monitor on. By the way, you ever met anybody with an ankle monitor? Or seen anybody with one?
Yeah.
I have too. It's kind of interesting.
They come in the bowling alley all the time.
All the time, do they? Why the ankle? Why not like around the neck? It is kind of interesting that it's like a small device. Like, why don't these make them like a big hat they wear? So you know, hey, this guy.
I mean, there's
like a scarlet letter. It's always the ankle.
Well, it's probably because the ankle won't interfere with your daily tasks. Because like if you put it on your hands, you could hit it, or you could do like you're working with your hands. And if it's on the neck, that's just going to get irritating. But if it's on the ankle,
I guess the reason is they want you to be able to live some sort of normal life.
Yeah.
So it's not real
and you can
obvious.
conceal it pretty easily.
Right. It's down at the ankle. It's
And
not.
I always tell people it's my step counter.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you tell me.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
that's
I
smart.
got my step counter, dude.
That's smart.
It's an old version.
How hard is it to cut one of those off, I wonder? You always hear about
it's
people
probably
like,
not hard at all.
he slipped out of his ankle monitor.
Yeah.
You hear that all the time.
Probably not hard at all.
Yeah. It's like an adjustable.
Yeah.
Like a hat. Like
well,
a
I mean, the
baseball
whole
hat.
purpose of it is just to monitor you. So it's if you cut it off, I
Yeah,
bet.
tell me what the purpose of it is, Dick.
Well, I meant more of if you cut it off, you're accepting the consequence of maybe doubling or going back to jail. So it's like they don't make it where it's like ironclad to your foot. It's not man the iron mask.
Yeah,
type
does it
thing.
make sense to cut it off and leave it somewhere? That, to me, throws some red flags. You can take it with you throughout the day, like in your pocket. But then when you want to go out, you put it in the bed like you're sleepy when you can go off and do whatever you want. Interesting. All right, last story before the break. In a smoky twist of irony, residents of a Turkish town found themselves unintentionally high.
How about we do that?
And not from anything that they did.
Why don't we get? I know the chief of police. I can get an ankle monitor for you
I don't need one.
and see how your life is.
I want a headband and a monitor.
And
headband.
what I'll do is I'll set up Chat GPT, a program that every hour will post to Facebook on AOO's Facebook where you are.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
God, he's been in the bathroom again. This guy really needs to get checked out.
So we're getting high in a town.
Yeah, they got high, but not from anything that they did. No late night parties, no dodgy dealings behind the corner stop. No, this unexpected trip was courtesy none other than the police. According to a report, the town of Lihi in Turkey had an anti-drug operation that literally went up in smoke with the entire town getting caught in the haze. So they made a huge drug bust, bought all the weed to the middle of the town and said, we're going to light this on fire. And everyone in the town got high for days, they said. Apparently, this thing is huge. There's a picture of it there.
I can't
You
get.
can show
I
it.
can't make it big.
Well, it said they confiscated a whopping 20 tons.
Yeah.
And then rather than quietly disposing of it far away from the population, the officers chose a bold, if not baffling, ill-planned route. They lit it all on fire, leading to 5 days of drifting smoke, stoned citizens, and, quote, total chaos.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I think it's pretty good.
Imagine just getting blazed out of your mind for the
Perfect
next
time to bust out the woolly.
Oh, it's greatness, man. All right, it's a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a terrible Disneyland concept right here on the Audience of One show.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
You're listening to Audience of One show here on Lone Star Community Radio. I'm hanging out with Andrew, and this is the second part of the show. Welcome back. Middle of May. I don't have your mic up, dude. I'm the one to do an intro, baby. That's right. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast. I think we're on Spotify and all sorts of cool stuff. We're on YouTube, Lone Star Community Radio. We are a nonprofit radio station, so if you want to support Audience of One show, feel free to donate. Just go to irlonestar.com/donate. Oh, I got to burp again. Oh, man.
Is it my turn to talk? I don't know if the mic is even up. I don't know.
All right, you're fine.
Okay, I'm good.
You're good.
I still don't think my level is as high as yours,
I'm
but
always going to be a
whatever.
little higher.
Yeah, of course, of course. I'm the guy in charge. My voice has got to be higher.
Yeah.
Dick, have you ever gotten a group text?
Oh, God.
A group text, and you don't know anybody on the thread?
I know one person.
Well, in this particular case, I know nobody. And I meant to bring this to air months and months ago, and I forgot. But I got this group text back January 13th.
Okay.
And it was a very nice and cordial, because it wasn't one of these like scammers with a,
I always get the ones about
have
nudes.
a link.
Send me your nudes.
Right. Yeah, not one of those. It just says, Happy New Year. I meant to send this sooner, but so busy working. Wish you and your family happy and prosperous New Year with health and happiness. God bless.
Who's it from? Did you look up the number?
I have no idea. No, I didn't look up
the
any-
number.
No, I don't care that much.
You should
But
always
what I
look up
think
the
is
number.
funny is like several weeks went by. No one responded. And finally someone says, I don't know any of the people in this thread. No names are showing up in my contact list. Who is this from? I still appreciate the message regardless. And Happy New Year with blessings back to everyone as well.
That's when you send the woolly mammoth photo.
But who replies? Like, would you reply to this if you got a message?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're going to reply back, oh, Happy New Year to you,
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who is this?
I sent that picture. Remember that meme that's going on with that giant black man sitting on the bed? Remember that? And it had like another part of it that was really funny.
No.
You know what I'm talking about? He's naked.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about? That big, I forget what they call him. He's a big man. He's big in all parts.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, man, I don't know what you're talking about.
Man, I used to get that all the time.
No, sorry. Maybe that's why I
Then
don't
I'll
know.
start sending it to
Okay,
you.
thanks. Please do. Well, then this guy replies back with Al-Baba, B-A-B-A. This is the number I have. So I don't know what Al-Baba means, but neither did this other person, as he or she responded back with, is that your name, Al-Baba? Well, I'm Alina, and probably in the wrong group chat of all these numbers. And she sends back, sorry. And then somebody else says, it's okay, take care. You too. All of these people responding have no clue who these people are.
You're talking to
I'm
AI.
Thinking,
You're talking
no,
to AI.
I'm thinking this was a bunch of people who don't park very well in the eye doctor parking lot is what
Yeah.
this is.
That's when you start sending some wild stuff, dude.
I have thought about that before, like just respond with some off-the-wall stuff like,
no, send the video of that woman pooping on the car. That's the perfect reply.
Happy 4th of July!
Yeah.
6 months later to a group no one's responded to.
Yeah.
You seen this video? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Oh, I just don't understand the people who would reply to that. Oh, thank you for the blessings. I don't know who you are, though.
That's so funny. I'd go for it.
Oh, man. Dick, have you ever seen the Amazon truck parked on the street, door wide open, and no one in it because he's up at a door delivering a package? You ever thought about just jumping in that bad boy and running off with it? Yeah, me neither.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, me neither.
Now I might steal some of the packages.
I was just wondering. I walked by one earlier today or yesterday, door wide open. I'm like, looking in that thing. I'm like,
Well,
it's very much a call of the void. I'm like, I just want to
No,
jump
wait.
in there. Or just move it up like one house and get up and walk out. So the guy goes, wait a minute.
No, I think what's strange now is since that one caught on fire over here.
Yes,
Every time
and
I
burnt
see it,
down that place
yeah, burn it
almost.
down. And every time I see one now, I'm like, I wonder when that's going to catch on fire.
The rest of it?
No, like every time I see an Amazon truck,
Oh, yeah.
because
so-
it's one of those electric ones.
It was. I don't know if the truck caught on fire or something caught it on fire.
The car caught on fire.
Right, but I don't know if it was the source of the
they
fire.
said it
was.
They said it
Oh, no. I wonder if Amazon is going to be liable for all of that.
Probably.
I mean, it was a nasty fire.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I drove by that and I was like, that's so cool, because no one was hurt. That's why I like good fire. It's always fun to watch a good fire.
Yes,
But if no one's getting hurt.
of course. Of course. Dick, I think it was last week you asked me, I think it was last week, maybe it was a couple weeks ago, if I had ever seen Final Destination.
Yeah, you never seen it.
And I think I said no, but then I heard they're making a new one and
Yeah.
releasing, and so
Bloodlines.
I'm like, I have seen, I think I saw the very first one, or at least parts of it, back in like, I don't know, it was like
That's-
late 90s maybe?
No, I think it was early 2000s.
Okay, yeah, I think I was in college or thereabouts, and I seem to remember it being kind of intense because it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's people who know their fate or have a feeling about their fate, and they choose something like they feel like the plane is going to crash, so they get out the plane.
No.
And because they were destined to die in that
Yeah.
plane crash.
Their friend
fate is
saves
coming
them.
after them to die in,
He
in
has
other
a
ways. right?
premonition.
Premonition, yeah.
And he gets them off the plane.
premonition
And they're
about
like, hey,
impending doom.
why'd you get us off the plane? Boom, plane blows up.
Plane blows up,
and
yeah.
death comes for them.
Right. So they're like, you were destined to die in there. You're going to now die one way or the other, and I'm going to make sure of it. Pretty cool premise, but they've made like 12 of these things now, haven't
dude,
they?
they're great. Some of them are fantastic. There's one of them that a woman burns to death in a suntan bed. Suntanning bed. That was pretty. The worst one I remember,
intense.
because what's so funny about those shows is they have to come up with creative ways people die, and they have to make it look like an accident because death works in mysterious ways. One of them was really bizarre. It was like this guy was taking a shower, and if I remember correctly, that particular shower had that old style shower where you could hang your clothes, and it had that wire.
We talked about this on one of our very first shows.
And
I didn't know what it was.
And the guy slips, like grabs the wire, falls down, hits his head, and then like when he gets back up, somehow when he lets go of the wire, it like wrapped around his head,
course.
and then like he got caught up in the curtain. And he couldn't like use his arm, so he's like choking.
That's a bunch of things that didn't need to happen.
It was bizarre. I'm like, this movie's so good.
Yeah, and I think you said that they removed those from like hotel rooms because people were using them to unalive themselves. Yeah. That's terrible.
But yeah,
But good movie series,
Another
huh?
good one. Another good one was
Yeah.
this guy's in.
Sounds pleasant.
This guy's in a.
What are you doing? Look like you're double milking there.
Oh yeah, dude.
What are you doing? Oh, you're simulating driving.
Yeah, they're in a drive-through at a restaurant or like a fast food restaurant, and they're in a small car, and the car behind is a big old truck, and this car, of course, at the top of the hill, no handbrake, comes down, and you see the guy like, oh my car, well the car hits the truck, forces the engine to go into the small car, and it cuts off their heads, and it's like the guy's at the order window and like opens the window and there's like head and the saw blades like going into the dude's skull or the engine blade and the guy's like, here's your fuel.
See, I don't remember this first one being really graphic. Maybe it was.
The
I just
first one
remember it
really
being
wasn't
really intense.
Yeah, the first one wasn't because they just get more and more ridiculous.
Yeah,
dude.
that's what my fear is. But I seem to remember the first one being pretty good. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
have to revisit it, but I'm not going to.
They're a lot of fun, dude.
I bet they are. Well, speaking of death and dismemberment, Ed Riefenstahl is a faculty member at the TCU
I think there's 6 of them.
Neely School of Business.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going. Sorry.
Six of them
I think
total?
so. I think there's.
Well, that's like one every 3-4 years then. We're due.
Yeah, there's 6.
We're due for another one.
Yeah, and 2000 was when the first one came out.
Okay, so I said late 90s, you said early 2000s.
Yeah,
Cut the middle, it's 2000.
that's cool.
Well, Ed is a faculty member at the TCU Neely School of Business in Fort Worth, who is slowly losing his ability to speak. Similar to you, Dick. I know how you are plagued with this as well. His was from a fall from a ladder in 2021 that caused a TBI, otherwise known as a traumatic brain injury. I'm not sure what your excuse is. Anyways, 2 years later, he was diagnosed with bulbar palsy, a neurological condition that weakens the muscles used for speaking and swallowing, much like after you've had about 10 whiskeys.
Yeah.
Of the 15 symptoms, he currently has 9. His condition may deteriorate, and he knows there is no cure. A devastating reality for a man who loves interacting with his students and corporate clients. This eventually led him to 11 Labs. This 11 Labs keeps coming up. We've talked about this company a lot. A New York company that uses artificial intelligence to generate speech. It's using recordings of his own voice before the injury to create custom voice clone that captures his natural cadence and tone. So he's basically wanting to have the ability to speak long after he has the inability to speak.
So he didn't want the Stephen Hawking's voice.
I guess he did not want to talk like this. Would you want to do that?
I always wondered, like, when they first gave him that computer,
Yes.
and then he's like, "All right, Dr. Hawkins, say hello," and it's like, "Hello." You think the first thing he'd be like,
Yeah, dude, change it up. Give me give me a British voice, a chick or something.
Change the voice.
Yeah.
Change the
Can
voice.
we do better than this? I'm the smartest man in the world. Give me a better voice than this. Make me a Brit, something.
Yeah, I don't.
Would you want to do that? Would you, or maybe not you, but let's say you could clone the voice.
Because he never changed it.
No, even when there was better tech, he's like, yeah, I'm sticking to it.
This is my voice.
Would you want to clone the voice of, say, like a grandparent or great-grandparent that has passed?
That's why I saved the voicemails.
See, I don't think, like, part of me thinks that would be nice to have, but I think it would also really screw with your ability to heal, like, and get over their death. Because if it had been decades after they passed and you were able to regenerate their voice, maybe. But if you regenerate it, they pass, and the next day you're just talking with them, you're never, ever really going to get over their passing. I think it's kind of weird,
Well, that's
man.
why I have my ex-wife screaming at me to remind me.
To remind me,
I'm like,
this
oh,
is why I
this
did
is-
what I
this
had
is
to
what-
do.
This is why we're here. No, I think it's kind of fun, but then
See, that's why I'm doing this show. My
but it's-
grandkids can be like, "Oh, look at Grandpa! Now he's dribbling around the old folks' home." But at one point, he was fairly cognitive. See, they
Yeah.
have this to remember me by. This stupid ass show.
yeah, Muffkin. Is that a Muffkin?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Is it a Muffkin? What's it
We'll
called?
delete this part. They won't ever hear this. We're going to edit this part
Why?
out. What's a muffkin?
I don't know. I thought maybe
This is kind of like Barney Bag.
Yeah.
We were freely saying that before we knew what that was. That was the episode, by the way, that I stopped and listened to. Onesies, do yourself a favor and
Oh,
listen to
Barney Bag.
February
Oh, my
28th,
God.
2024 episode.
there's-
It's a doozy.
the world's like a miracle, man. I love it. There's so many awesome things going on around town.
Yeah, but you and I, you especially, with countless hundreds or thousands of hours of our voice now recorded out there on the internet, somebody can easily make our voice a clone or clone our voice and be able to do this fairly
Yeah.
easily, and have you going, yeah, look at my woolly mammoth underwear,
Thong.
Thong. Pretty easily, and it'll sound perfectly
I'm
legit.
okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I'd want a cloned voice of a loved one that had passed. I don't think.
You gotta man up sometimes, dog.
Quit being a wuss, man. Anyways, I thought it was pretty interesting. Dick, are you familiar or are you aware of the fact that Walt Disney is pioneering a new technology product to protect monarch butterflies? The butterflies will wear tiny little tags to help scientists track their movements to understand them better. The groundkeeping technology is taking flight at Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival, where guests can see this in person. So they actually have a team of people out there pinning down these monarch butterflies and taping them with some sort of tracking device to watch them all day. Kind of an interesting thing, but apparently upwards of 90% of the world's monarch butterflies have died in recent years, Dick. And this is a good idea from Disney. However, Disney does not always have good ideas.
No.
They don't. Were you aware of what America's Disney was?
No.
It was an idea in 1993.
Okay.
They announced plans for a patriotic Disney's America. The project was a unique and historically detailed environment meant to celebrate the nation's richness and diversity of spirit and innovation.
Okay.
They have planned to have robots of every American president, they said at the time.
They have that already.
Oh, this is the announcement, though, in 1993. America's history would be brought to life with entertainment like, quote, a high-speed thrill attraction called the Industrial Revolution. Hey, man, nothing says high speed and fun like the Industrial Revolution. All right? But a mere 11 days, got to hear me out on this one, after the initial announcement, the park's narrative began to take a turn. It started when Disney executives held a conference at Walt Disney World in order to unveil the new animatronic Bill Clinton and Abe Lincoln. Those were the very first talking robots. At the press conference, Bob Weiss, a senior vice president and the park's creative director, said to a room full of reporters, quote, "How can you do a park on America and not talk about slavery? This park will deal with the highs and lows, and we want to make you feel what it was like to be a slave and what it was like to escape through the Underground Railroad." That's right. Disney had planned to build a park where you were a slave and tried to escape in the Underground Railroad. Needless to say,
that would be
Dick,
a cool ride.
This failed tragically.
Yeah. You don't think that ride would be really interesting?
Good God. We do a good thing with the monarch butterflies, and then we turn around and do this. Actually, this was 93, though. I figured you would love something like, man, let's do Auschwitz. This is great.
No, I mean, like, what's so weird to me is they have that educational argument, right? Like, this is for education.
Uh-huh.
But then we also have to make it entertaining because we're Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, all right.
How do we combine slavery and the loop-de-loop and the tilt-a-whirl all into one? First, you got to get us talking Bill Clinton.
You know, Sarah over in the corner is the actual historian they hired.
Right.
And she's sitting there going like, well, sir, you know the Underground Railroad wasn't an actual railroad, right?
Like, they weren't riding going, whee!
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about here? Oh, that'd be amazing to be in that boardroom.
Yeah, I can't imagine arriving at that area. And Bob was probably one of those guys who was so high up. He starts having these ideas. People are going, nobody can tell him. They're looking back and forth like, somebody's got to tell him, but nobody can tell him. This is not a good idea.
I mean, I could see them having like section of the park about America and the history and the animatronic presidents, and you can still do slavery as like an educational thing, but a ride.
They were doing a whole section about the history of America, and they wanted to include our highs and lows.
Well, I guess
much like a roller coaster.
No, because you can do a ride with it, but it'd be like an educational thing. Kind of like when you go on those safari thingies, where you go through the park and you can listen to like, these are the tigers, and the tigers have da 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 da. That's what they. I mean, I guess that's called a ride.
Sort of, yeah. Those are the boring ones.
Yeah, but
this sucks.
I think we're blowing our imagination up, thinking.
Needless to say, the outcry from this did not allow this to actually go into fruition.
Why. I wonder if anyone got fired. I like it, dude.
He said, quote, "I didn't really think people were going to think. I really don't think they think." This is a quote. That they're going to feel like they're being a slave. They were going to get whipped. I don't know what they could possibly think. So I guess in his mind, he was thinking it was more, like you said, an educational thing. But people were outraged. Like, nah, dude, you can't. Nah, dude. You can't do this.
Nah, dude.
Nah, dude. Nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. All right. Yeah. Well, interesting. Like I said, Disney has some good ideas and not so good. A Broward County, Florida circuit court judge will be suspended effective next week after an advisory panel to the state Supreme Court determined he was unfit to serve after telling, quote, exceptionally bad jokes. Oh, and he was biased, and he also had poor attendance. This is pretty funny. I don't know. Did you hear about this judge being suspended due to his exceptionally bad jokes?
No, I saw that judge that got in trouble for hiding like an illegal immigrant.
I'm sorry?
I think that's what it was, if I read that correctly. Yeah. Yeah, judge tried to hide somebody.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
No, but this is pretty funny. So according to the allegations, this guy's name was Farmer, was presiding over a felony case in August of 2024 and was informed the defendant was expecting the birth of 3 children. Court documents say that Farmer laughingly mocked the man who was expecting 3 children with 3 different women. And he says, "Okay, you've been busy." Quote, "You were just shooting all over the place," Farmer told the man. "That's good. Did you know their names? First and last? Romantic, aren't you? Don't tell Susie about Jane. Don't tell Jane about Mary. God bless you, man. One's enough." Okay, not really a funny joke, but he did have some other zingers in here. Let me see if I can find one. They weren't all just like making fun of and in bad taste. He actually did have some pretty good jokes in here. Something about getting some peaches down in Georgia. That's a little bit inappropriate.
Well, if it's your doctor...
He did walk into a court one day and say, let's see. Oh, he said, "Spring is here. I got so excited, I wet my pants. What did the shirt say to the pair of pants? What's up, britches?" Okay, kind of funny.
He's just
kind of funny. He's just working through it, man.
He's working on his stand-up while in the court.
Well, apparently the court did not want to hear any of it, and this dude has been let go, or at least suspended for a while.
Huh.
Yeah.
Probably trying to get a TV show.
So that's a really good point. And I think that was one of the things I was thinking is this guy was doing this probably for attention, likes, trying to go viral. Well, success. He's gone viral. We're talking about him now. Like the Judge Judy. You ever watch any of the Judge shows?
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
You know, I was reading a thing, the People's Court, I think it was called, where
yes,
what they do is, it's like if it's like silver court issue, they'll pay for you to come out and settle the dispute between like whoever you're.
Yeah, and you get it done free of charge. You don't have to pay for the court fee. So they have a
I'm pretty sure I read something where a guy gamed the system where he and his buddy pretended to have a civil dispute just so they could fly him out to L.A. for free. And they pretended to have this civil suit so they could go.
It was all fake.
It was all so they could go on vacation.
And they get the show to pay for it.
Yeah.
And everything.
I was like, that's pretty smart.
It is pretty smart. Yeah, most of that stuff is probably fake anyways. And if you're going to fake it and you're a willing participant, might as well get a free lunch and a free vacation out of it. So that was actually 2 jokes I said earlier. Spring is here. I got so excited I wet my pants. And what did the shirt say to the pair of pants? What's up, britches?
Oh, you messed up the joke.
I guess. Unless that's one joke. I don't know. And what did the shirt... I can't tell if that's one joke or not, but what's up, britches is kind of funny. I have to admit. Maybe they just didn't understand his humor, man. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Well, Farmer did not immediately respond to Fox News' digital request for comment on the matter. But my hope is he'll respond to my request because I have reached out to this guy and I would like to have him on our show. I'm eagerly awaiting his response.
So good at give him 5 minutes. All right.
What do you mean?
Talking about the judge?
Yeah.
Yeah, give him 5 minutes to stand up. Like, here.
Give him a nice tight 7.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Now's your chance right here. You're on the air in major small market radio, Conroe, Texas. Go for it. Give me your best. Right here.
I don't see why not.
Sorry, I'm having trouble reading this. It's just that stupid. I think I'm not going to get anything from New York Post anymore. As I'm reading, it will literally, an ad will just drop right in front of the text.
Yeah.
And then it'll disappear, and then it'll drop again right as I'm trying to read it. So it sounds as though I have had a TBI at times trying to read these things. Maybe I'll have to clone my voice and read this beforehand because this is really difficult. Oh, well, whatever, man. Dick, would you say that if someone heard you speaking, they could tell where you're from?
Yeah.
You think so?
Certain words.
Certain words. Do you think they would say, "Oh, you're from the South," or do you think they would know, "Oh, you're from Texas," or "Oh, you're in even Southeast Texas"?
It depends on how cultured they are. with the rest of the world.
How cultured they are. Not you.
Well, no, because there's certain folks that I hear who have a Southern accent, but I could be like, yo, you're from East, South, like Georgia. You're over there.
Yes, because they have a traditional Southern drawl. But you don't have a Southern drawl.
No, I don't.
No, I don't know what it is.
Well, there's certain words, like when I say tired.
Oh, tard.
That's
I
like,
ain't been no ways tard.
but it's that's how I say tired. Tired.
You also say milk a little funny, too.
Milk.
Yeah.
Well, how are you supposed to say it?
I don't know. You kind of have a milk the way you say it.
The gross.
It does sound like maybe you just took a glass of
Milk.
a swig of milk and it's
Milk.
in the back of your throat.
Yeah, there's certain words that you can definitely tell.
I don't think if someone heard me speaking, they would know immediately that I was from the great state of Texas.
That's because you lived up in Dallas. That doesn't really count as Texas.
Okay. You
Doesn't
don't
really
think so?
count, no. I think in pure bloods.
I wasn't born there. I lived equal parts.
I know, but when you live in Dallas, it sucks the soul of Texas out of you.
I don't think so.
And
That is, you know what that's from? It's because it's Oklahoma. Because Oklahoma sucks, and so it sucks the life right out of you from Dallas. Yeah. Anyways, I don't think anybody would know that I'm from Texas.
Why do a lot of Texans hate Dallas? Like people from Dallas.
I don't know.
I don't really get it.
I will tell you this: people up there don't really care for Houston either, and it is.
Well, I know it's funny to me because like
they are very different from each other.
Oh, well, to me, you can't hate on Houston because Houston doesn't even know what it is.
It has an identity crisis. You
Well,
think?
because it's just everybody.
Yeah, it is a very international.
port city,
Yeah, it's a very
and-
international city compared to Dallas.
So there really is no.
That's why it's
like,
different.
Yeah, it's like, but like.
So if anything, Dallas is more Texas. That's what you're saying.
From what I understand, is Dallas is more of a snobby.
Dallas is, yeah. It's kind of got
It's snobby, but Houston, it's like everything.
It's a melting pot.
It's a melting pot of what America is.
Look at you and your Houston pride.
I don't really care, but it's just because that's one thing I do like about Houston is the food is fantastic, and
yes, it is.
It's evolving, which is great because it's passing on to generations. So all the restaurants that are opening up are somehow connected to an old restaurant that was here 60 years ago from, Mama or something. So the food's getting better and better.
It is. I agree with you. And I think actually food's getting better and worse at the same time, if that's possible. So like we've never had more fusion restaurants and all kinds of new recipes and things. We've never had more of them ever in the history of man than we do right now. But we also have like a Carl's Jr. on every corner too.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I love about Conroe is we have taco like within where you are right now. Within like a 15-minute walk, I'm talking about walking, there's probably 15 taco places.
Mm-hmm. And they all make money, I bet.
Yeah, they're all good.
Well, that just goes to show you how
Except
good
one I really hate.
and diverse the taco is.
I think it's La Palma's number one.
Yeah, I love the restaurants that have the number
And
afterwards.
the La Palma number, well, it's because there was a divorce or something and they couldn't figure out what to call it. So it's called
in that
number
case,
two,
sometimes they
number
just,
one.
because it's another location.
Well, number one's really weird because it's over here. It's on the south side of downtown. And if you see the building, they painted it like bright green and with a little trim of pink, I think it was. But this is what I love. It looks like a warehouse, big. Mm-hmm. You go into the front, and it's twice as big as this room. And I'm like, what's in the back?
That's where the party is.
Like really,
That's
I
where the
was almost like I was sitting there like, how's this place not bigger? You can only sit 10 people in here.
That's where all the children
and
making
we're in
the
a
tortillas
warehouse.
are at, man.
That's my mind started going. I was like, oh, they're probably doing something illegal back there. And
well, my point is the Southern accent, which has many variations, is in fact fading in some areas of the South as people migrate to the region from other parts of the U.S. and the world. A series of research papers published in December documented the diminishment of the regional accent among black residents in the Atlanta area, white working class people in the New Orleans area, and people who grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina. But I also think it has a lot to do with the fact that we're watching YouTube clips and reels from people all over the place, whereas it used to be communication was more local, more regional, as you spoke with people. Mostly your means of communication were people that you spoke to in your area. Now you get influenced at a very young age with people from all over the world. So I think that leads to the decay of some of your more traditional accents, including the Southern drawl. You like the Southern drawl? You find that kind of hot?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I like that woolly mammoth
I like it.
undies you got.
I like it. Everything about it.
All right, man, it is time for the quick hit here at the end of the show as I come bumbling to a stop here. I think I got thrown off by that stinking internet page. Dick, do you know who Michael Clark Rockefeller is?
No.
Well, he was, ironically, a member of the Rockefeller family. And he disappeared November 19th, 1961. He was a son of New York Governor and later U.S. Vice President Nelson Rockefeller, and grandson of American financier, I love saying that word financier, John D. Rockefeller, and the great-grandson of Standard Oil co-founder John D. Rockefeller. A lot of Rockefellers in there. A lot of money, a lot of wealth. However, Rockefeller disappeared during an expedition in the Asmat region of the Dutch New Guinea province, which is now part of the Indonesia province. In 2014, Carl Hoffman published a book that includes details from the official inquest into the disappearance, in which villagers and tribal elders admitted to Rockefeller being killed and eaten after swimming to shore in 1961. Bro got eaten by a bunch of tribal people in Dutch New Guinea. Come from all that money, all that wealth. He goes out on a little expedition to probably meet the shaman and ends up getting eaten. Bruh. No remains of Rockefeller or physical proof of his death have ever been discovered.
Oh, I like that.
I thought you'd have a little more to say on that one. Dude was eaten by cannibals.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Well, you don't know really.
He was only 23 years old.
Can you imagine getting eaten and then pooped on a car?
Yeah. I think we need to go. This episode went nowhere fast.
All right.
All right. I hope we were recording. Or actually, I hope we weren't.
I think we were.
Okay.
We were. All right. I'll see you later.
Bye, everyone. Till next week. Bye.